Alrighty, this video is designed to explain personal development skills or PDS Unit 2 at a foundation level. If this is not your level, make sure you exit this video and go to the one which is appropriate. The focus of this unit is to help you guys be a part of a community and to complete community projects. Outcome 1 is in your booklet from pages 1 to 5. This requires you to identify community members and what rights and responsibilities are. So on page 1, you need to list some communities that you are a part of and the benefits that come from being part of that community. Remember, a community can be the town, it can be a computer gaming community, it can be a sporting club, it could be a family. All of those are a community. You need to then present the information you found to a staff member and a peer. You can email those through, or you can wait until we're back to do that, but that is up to you. It does need to be done though. Page 3 requires you to look at a community that you are part of, could be the VCAL community, and what rights do you have as part of that community. Remember, a right is the generally agreed upon idea of what is allowed to people or owed to people. And then you need to look at the responsibilities of being in that community. So again, a responsibility is that which people are required to do within that community. You then need to tell us why rights and responsibilities are important for members of a community and present this to a staff member. Again, record it, send it through. After that, think about a specific community. If you're stuck, use the town in which you live. You need to list various roles of members within that community and explain how that community member can have a positive impact on their community. So, for instance, the role could be, the CFA. And they make a positive impact on the community by helping keep us safe and secure and all that sort of stuff. That does need to be done for as many community members as you can think of. And then you need to once again present it. So send that information through. Now, these communities, within these communities, there'll be some members of the community who are more effective than others. So what are the qualities, the skills and personal attributes that make them a good community member? In this, it asks you to, in a small group, brainstorm what skills and personal attributes are required to make an effective community member. You can do this online, or you're just going to have to do it yourself otherwise. Once you've done that, you need to prioritize what you think the top 5 of each are in the list below. So what are the top 5 skills in order that you think are important to make an effective community member, and why does it make them more effective? So it could be passion, it could be organization, whatever it might be. And then the same for personal attributes. 5 in the order that you think are the most important. Tell us why they are most important. Present that to us. Once this is done, I've bulked together outcomes 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like PDS1, it's focused on you guys developing the skills that you need so that you can enter the workforce. So what we need to do, page 6 to 11, is to look at the project issue that your project is meant to be addressing and present that. So again, we're looking at page 6 here. Explain the project that you want to do. So what is the project you want to do, and work backwards. What's the issue you're going to address there? So might be creating a computer game community so that people aren't isolated in the lockdown. And that's a social thing. Present that to us, email it through. Once that's done, you need to research that issue. So isolation. You need to research isolation and how that affects us. You need to do that in several sources of information. You write the source, the URL or the book or whatever it is that you've got, the information you found, and what your interpretation of the information is you found. You need to do that from multiple sources. That's why there are boxes there. Make sure you do cover at least 2 sources. Now, the information you found, you need to summarize into a presentation. you have to use ICT for this. So it could be PowerPoint, it could be something else. Just make sure you use ICT to do it. You need to present the information that you found, and you need to receive feedback for that. So there's staff feedback, peer feedback, and then a self-reflection. Okay. Once this is done, you need to go through your project plan. So firstly, what is your step? Why is it needed? And a date that you aim to complete it by. These steps need to be detailed, exactly the same as your work-related skills and PDS previously. Assume we know nothing, explain it in detail. What are the resources you need and why are they needed? Could be tools, could be materials, whatever you need to do it. Once you've done that, what success criteria do you have for this project? How are we going to know that it is successful? Once that plan's done, present it to a staff member so that they can approve it. That is a very important step. Now, we need to make sure you do a risk assessment for this. So in reference to this, I remind you of what you've done for work-related skills units 1 and 2 in the past with your risk assessment hierarchy of controls and the risk matrix so that you can create this. But again, just tell us what the risk is, the details of the risk, how it's identified, and potential impacts. So, I don't know, the risk would be lack of privacy online. Detail of the risk, you could lose important personal information. You identified it by just thinking about it, and the potential impact is that you could be a victim of identity theft. So the consequence there could be high, likelihood is very likely, and the risk rating would be high as a result. Your action is to maybe make it password protected so that people can't get in, and then the risk goes down. There are again 4 there. Just do 1 for each risk that you identify within your project. Okay. From page 16 to 22, it's asking you to identify a potential problem and come up with a solution to that. So what are some potential problems and what are the potential causes for those problems? Send that through to a staff member. For that potential problem, what impact would that have on your project? Again, present that to a staff member. Page 18 requires you to think of your potential problem and then how can you avoid that problem completely or minimize the impact of that problem on your project. Present that to a staff member. Do that for each problem that you potentially have. That will see you through until your work diaries. These work diaries are once again different. They are only 1 page. You only need to do 1 page per day that you do physical work. Bit simple. What did you do today? How do you rate your performance and explain that? Did you achieve anything significant today? What OH&S risks did you encounter and how did you either minimize or eliminate them? What teamwork skills did you evidence in your work today? What are some personal factors which contributed to your teamwork today? So communication, relationships, etc. What are some other factors which influenced your team behaviour and explain how they did so? So you might have had a fight the previous day and therefore it didn't work too well today. How effective was the team compared to individual in achieving your goals? So was it better to be doing this individually or as a group? A reminder again, every day you do work, you need to make sure you send some pictures through to us just so we can authenticate the work that you're doing is your own. Once those work diaries are done, there's some reflections that need to be completed at the end of the project. They're starting on page 30 with a staff member reflection, a student reflections on page 34, and a peer reflections on 35. If you've done this at home and no one else is involved, please get a family member to do that peer reflection. As with work-related skills unit 2, PDS Unit 2, we expect you to complete 1 booklet and therefore 1 project within 5 weeks. And you need to do it a total of 3 times. We expect you to start this project at the start of week 6, if not earlier, and finish it by the end of term 2. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you and stay safe.